The JumpStart release has been an absolute fiasco, both in paper and online. So I want to take some time to break down exactly what went wrong. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. Welcome to the weekend. I hope that it finds you well. Now, JumpStart is a brand new product just released by Wizards of the Coast, and unfortunately, the product launch has been marred by a whole bunch of different issues. And I do genuinely mean unfortunately. There are certain Magic products that they make where I go, I don't really like this. I don't think that's that great of a concept. But when it comes to the JumpStart concept, I actually really like the underlying idea. It is supposed to be a rough and ready, quick, let's go style scenario that's designed for just casual play and also easing new players into the game. It's a very simple concept. All you have to do is acquire 2 boosters per player. That's it. That's all you need. Each booster pack will have a different theme in it, and some of the themes can have different variations. Some of the themes are static for some of the more rare themes, but it's very straightforward stuff. Like, here's a bunch of dragons, here's a bunch of goats, here's a bunch of refrigerators. I mean, obviously it's not a refrigerator one, but you get the idea, right? So you have these themes, you just take 2 themes, you put them together, and you have a playable deck. You don't have to worry like you do in a draft or a sealed event where you have to select individually all the cards you want to include in your deck. You have to figure out the mana base. You have to figure out what goes in, what gets removed. All of those decisions are removed. At most, the decisions that you're going to be making for deck building with JumpStart is if you get let's say you get like a whole booster box or something, and you open up all 24 packs, then you have different themes you can mix and match and do whatever you want with. But I mean, theoretically, even as beginners, these packs would be easy to sort apart because they're like, each pack is pretty obviously different. You've got your green zombie pack, you've got your green zombie pack, your black zombie pack, your green cat pack. You want to split them up, do whatever. Like, underneath it, it seems like a cool concept. You know what I mean? Pretty straightforward. Beginners can jump in. They've got a whole bunch of different themes. So from a conceptual standpoint, I gave it a thumbs up. Unfortunately, there have been a whole number of issues that have cropped up that have led to disappointment and in some cases straight out anger from the fan base, and it's completely understandable. Now, there are a few factors outside of Wizards' control in this regard as well. One of the things that's most frustrating for me about JumpStart personally, and you will know this if you've watched my previous video called The Parade of Problems, is that JumpStart has the most horrendous card quality that I have seen from any product that Wizards has released in the last 10 years or so. Like, if I think back to the bad times where the card quality was really bad, and that was around Ixalan, Kaladesh, Iconic Masters, in that, like, it was a number of years. In that time frame, the card quality was bad. We would see some really poor cards. But JumpStart has just pushed that to a much higher degree. But the craziest part is there's way less JumpStart out in the world. Like, there is not enough JumpStart to go around, which we'll get into. But understand that there is a minimal amount of JumpStart that has been released. Like, compared to other products, there are very, very few like boxes of this product out there, right? When game stores originally got this product, it, like, before the release, what Wizards did was they did a promotional sort of setup where they said, we're going to send you out X number of pre-release promos, buy a box promos. So when you come into the store and you buy a sealed box of M21, you get 2 different promos. The one promo is the card that was the cat, dog, Rin, and Ciri, and the other promo, well, I guess promos you could call it, is 2 packs of JumpStart. Now, for one confusing thing about this as well is Wizards didn't send out an equal amount of both. So if you weren't there fast enough, you wouldn't get JumpStart packs. So they would send out, for example, I talked to different stores about this, but for a random example, we'll say they send you out like 18 of these Rin and series. Well, they only send out enough JumpStart packs for 12 people. Like, it's a very sort of weird scenario where they didn't say, like, okay, you're going to reward certain people with just Rin and Siri and certain people with Jumpstart packs, which, I mean, you can argue limited supplies, whatever. That one's not a huge thing, but there's the problem that a bunch of stores didn't get these promo Jumpstart packs. And whenever something doesn't come out, and this was documented, this actually happened, these packs didn't come out, but whenever something like this happens, what happens is the players, at least some of them, look at the store and go, that store is skeezy. They stole the packs. So first of all, stores didn't get enough of these Jumpstart packs, either by not being given enough to give away or not receiving them at all. So there's the damage to the reputation that's done in that regard. The products themselves are insanely poor quality, right? Like, I'm part of misprint groups on Facebook. I also wander around on Reddit, and we're doing the whole like MTG trash hashtag on Twitter as well. So I see all these different misprints, and I pay attention, and I watch the waves come in from different sets. And we had reached a point, I believe around Dominaria, where things had calmed down and the card quality had returned to a somewhat reasonable level. We still had issues, but it didn't feel like blatantly disrespectful. The amount of errors going on with Jumpstart, like, even if this was a normal release and it was being released like a regular set, Throne of Eldraine, something like that, with those numbers, it would still be a high amount of misprints and garbage cards from what I'm seeing. They're inventing new kinds of misprints. Just yesterday, I saw basic lands where the back of them is printed upside down, and the foil stamps that are supposed to be on rare cards are up there right beside the name of the land. Like, there are crazy amounts of these misprints with very few cards out in the wild. The store owners didn't get what they're supposed to. And then even when it came to release time, the full-on release, the store owners didn't get nearly what they were supposed to. So here's another example of how it works. A store owner goes to the distributors, and if you don't know how this works, the LGSs are at the mercy of distributors. Wizards made it even more so by abolishing MSRP. As soon as Wizards got rid of the MSRP, they said, now distributors can charge you whatever they want for these products. That's how it works. So they're at the mercy of distributors. So you as a retailer go to your distributor and you say, I would like to purchase 8 boxes of Jumpstart. And the distributor says, nah, son, we're going to let you buy 4. And you're like, okay, I would like to buy 4 boxes of Jumpstart. And they're like, okay, your allocation is 2. And you go, wait, what? And then they go, and we're shipping you out 1 now. That's how it went. That's like literally go into the game store like I did today. There's a sign on the box saying limit of 2 packs per person. Now, there's a certain level that I could understand where it's like, okay, you know what? We have everything that's going on in the world right now where you go, you know what, Mike, you got to be fair. And I do try to be fair. You got to be fair. The world, you know what? Everything that's going on, it's impacted production in all kinds of ways, right? But here's the thing. It's not affecting Walmarts. It's not affecting the big box stores where you can go and buy the Jumpstart. They've got a bunch of it. There are multiple reports of big box stores having more than enough of this. But when it comes to the LGSs, they're sitting there going, please, can I just buy 8 boxes? No, 4, no 2. No, here's your 1 box. Like that is very frustrating. So you have very poor card quality. You have the supply that's choked off to LGSs. You have the issue that the lands that they put in there, each Jumpstart theme pack has 1 land specifically themed to the pack. Okay, so if you get, for example, one of the most attractive ones is from the Phyrexian booster pack, where on the card, it's actually written in the Phyrexian language instead of English, the text of the card, which makes it very attractive to a particular subset of Magic players, right? Now, instead of allowing you to get like 6 or 7 of these lands per theme packs, they limit them to 1 per pack, which is a really greedy move when there are going to be a good number of people who just want to have 24 of the Unicorn lands, 24 of the Phyrexian lands, however many it is for their pet deck to have that. Like, that's an obscene amount of packs that you have to buy just hoping to get the right theme, because the themes are randomly hidden in the boosters. So for me, that comes across as a fairly like greedy maneuver. That is my personal biggest complaint about the JumpStart product as it's designed. I mean, the card quality is execution. Distribution is execution. Design is going, you know what? We're going to make these lands super, super scarce. So I'm not a fan of that. You know what I mean? Even if they had just gone, we're going to do half and half, we'll give you like 4. Just increase the amount. I feel like that's a really greedy maneuver. I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is a greedy maneuver. So these sort of limitations that are happening with the physical cards, we've got poor card quality, LGSs getting the shaft, all that's no good. Then when we turn to the digital side of it, we have people who are very unhappy as well because of the way it was released online. Now, you're not able to just purchase JumpStart boosters directly through the store, and that is leading to an additional issue that's making people very unhappy with JumpStart. So the way the JumpStart event works on Arena is it's going to show you 3 random themes, you pick a theme, then it'll show you 3 more random themes, you pick another theme. So you do get possibly up to 6 different themes offered to you. Now, personally, I believe, I'd never be able to prove it, but personally, I believe they would program the event in a way where it is more likely to show you themes that are less desirable. They're not going to make all the themes show up equally in an attempt to keep you grinding through this event over and over and over. Now, they do have the ability, you know, to be fair on the other side, they do have the ability to win a couple of extra JumpStart rares when you play in the event. And to enter the event, it is 2,000 gold, which is the cost of 2 booster packs. So they're not overcharging for the event. However, JumpStart has a lot of rares that already exist within Arena, all right? So we're having a situation where people are getting a bunch of rares that they already have. And Wizards had addressed this concern that people have with the whole Core Set 2020, Core Set 2021 scenario, where when Core Set 2021 was coming out, there was an outcry raised where people said, look, there are 6 different lands in this set that are rares that are already currently in Standard that we've collected 4 copies of. And these don't even have different art. Literally, the only difference on these cards is the expansion symbol. So Wizards of the Coast said, okay, you know what? What we'll do is we'll make it so that when you're opening packs, you'll have the chance, you won't get these till the end, right? And there's no chance of you getting these sort of rares that way. But these aren't store-bought boosters when we're dealing with the JumpStart scenarios, and especially with the individual card rewards. So you have people who are very unhappy that they end up with, I've already got 4 copies of this card. Now JumpStart's just layering on more copies. And there are other complaints as well about the way that the rewards are set up, where basically you will get 5, 6 copies of Crater Hoof Behemoth before you'll have any chance to get the Shepherd, the Allosaurus Shepherd, like that insane, amazing elf. Like, my stuff can't be countered, guys. Now, yes, you can make these with wild cards, but it doesn't change the fact that there are a lot of people who are genuinely dissatisfied with JumpStart's reward mechanisms and the fact that they just keep getting cards that they have tons of copies of, right? So basically, before you're going to get any gems from a JumpStart event for any of these cards, you have to already have 4 copies of a Theros version of it, and then 4 copies of the JumpStart version, which is a really feel-bad scenario. The individual card rewards that they give you in the JumpStart event, they don't take into account what's already in your collection, which has always been a flaw with the ICRs, and it's always been kind of greedy of Wizards to not make it just give you a rare you don't have. But Wizards is trying to play that game of like, we're trying to give you enough as a free player or even as a played player that you feel like you're getting rewarded, but we don't want to give too much away because at the end of the day, we are trying to extract as much money from you as possible. So there is a balance. They're a business, you know, they're in it to make money. It's not a charity. They want to generate revenue, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But there are levels where it's too greedy. For example, where they tried to make us pay 2 wild cards per rare for the older historic rares, and they couldn't even come up with any good reasonings. They said because it would make it more fun. Like that's how bad they get with some of this. So we know that they intentionally go ahead and do things from a more greedy perspective. There actually have been people who worked inside Wizards of the Coast who've said on their own Twitch stream saying that they aim more towards going for a greedier approach, and then they can pull it back when the players complain, rather than accidentally giving too much and then trying to take some of it back and having the players not budge on that. So Wizards of the Coast philosophy, based on what someone who actually worked there on Arena or whatever, MTGO, one of the digital programs basically said their go-to mechanism of operation is to just go greedy with it and pull it back. But the problem is this JumpStart event is like a one-time thing. So there's no like pulling it back and fixing it. Everybody just kind of has to deal with it. Now, it would be one thing if Wizards of the Coast could pretend like they weren't aware of the scenario, but unfortunately for them, whoever's in charge of their Magic esports account, I guess maybe they had been watching the Wendy's Twitter account and be like, I want to be clever and witty and fun too, but they don't understand how to do it properly. So what happened was there's a thread on Twitter where you have people who are genuinely angry about what's going on. They're very dissatisfied and they're expressing their dissatisfaction. And then in the middle of that thread, somebody, like a pro player, I can't recall who their name was, but they make a joke, right? And Magic's esport accounts responds with, bruh. Like, and I just looked at it and went, are you serious right now? Somebody actually responded to that tweet going, essentially, I'm going to paraphrase. They basically said to the effect of, when this is a thread of a bunch of people who have genuine complaints about your product, coming along and making a joke without addressing our complaints just makes you look like a jerk. And they're not wrong. It's absolutely the wrong way to do things. When you are in charge of a corporate Twitter account and you're not Wendy's, because whoever's doing that, magnificent job. They know exactly what they're doing and they deserve a raise. However, if you don't have that level of skill and finesse, you have two options when it comes to these Twitter threads. You do one of two things. You don't respond to anything on the thread, and then you can just go from the hopeful mentality of your consumers will go, oh, either, maybe, like, the best case scenario, they'll look at it and go, oh, maybe they just didn't see it because they're too busy doing other things, or maybe they're working on it or whatever. So you either ignore it, so you have plausible deniability and go, we weren't aware of these concerns, or you give the very generic standardized statement of, thank you very much. We value your feedback. We understand your frustration. And going forwards, we're going to do our best to deliver the best experience and product to you. That's what you do. You don't go into a thread that's created by a prominent Magic Twitch streamer. Like, there are big names in there, and there's a lot of interaction, okay? And the bro tweet that they did, that tweet got considerably less likes than the tweet that was made by somebody else going, yo, smarten up, what are you doing? So we have a situation where it genuinely feels like they don't care. Like, this event's supposed to run for what, like a month? And they don't care that there is a whole contingent of players going, what are you doing? Like, this is not okay. Instead of just ignoring it and going, oh, we didn't see it, or going, hey, we'll make it better, they literally decided to just joke around and like do a little bit of elbow nudging with some like random like high profile Magic player, which is something more people are going to see. How can you be that foolish? So all of that comes together to me to really make it feel like JumpStart, like if this isn't the worst product release for Wizards ever, like it's really close, dude. I'm not counting the Ikoria product release because Ikoria was released when shops were literally required to be closed. So it doesn't get the same kind of treatment. And Ikoria didn't have, even with the story and the cards not matching up, Ikoria didn't have this level of abject failure. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to chronicle all of that. I am, after all, the Magic historian. So we are marking history down as it occurs. Let me know what you guys think about all this. And also, feel free to share with me the best part of your day today. I'm going to make this like an ongoing thing. That's what we're doing, because now it's been like, what, 2 or 3 days we've been doing this. And every time I go to the comment section now, I get to hear about good things that are going on in people's lives. And that's a really nice thing to see. So for those of you who engage in the comment section, I thank you. If you like my channel, like the video, comment, subscribe, share the video around. That all helps the channel immensely. And if you love what I'm doing, jump on my Patreon and join the list of these amazing people who are scrolling by on the screen right now. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Tomorrow, the next installment of the Karn lore drops, and oh Lord, does the story get good. So I'll see you all for that one. But until then,